Hello, Spartans. I'm David Magida, and we're in North Lake Tahoe, the home of the last 5 World Championship events, and this year the host of the North American Championships presented by Yokohama. And I'm joined today by a very special guest, my good friend Dave Watson, Spartan head of sport, all the way from Abu Dhabi. Dave, it's great to have you back.
Dave, it's great to be here. A little bit different clothing here in North Lake Tahoe. It's going to get warm soon, but this is so exciting. The premier OCR race in the nation this weekend and setting the stage for Abu Dhabi in December, the North American Championship this weekend.
And the athletes today are going to be facing one of the most challenging courses in the country. So Dave, a little bit different than years past. Why don't you break it down for us?
Let me tell you an interesting fact to start off with. In the local Washoe language, Tahoe actually means lake. So technically, we're racing at North Lake this weekend, Dave. But I'll tell you something about the course. 4,000 feet of elevation gain. That is the killer here. It's the steep uphills. It's about 1,200 meters. 13.6 mile course. That's about half a mile more than your standard half marathon. And then no water on this course. So no swim, Dave, no dunk wall. It'll be very much a race focused on the running and core obstacle components this weekend.
Now, the big thing that he said was the no water obstacles. And I know there are a few athletes that are going to be disappointed about that and a few that are going to be excited as well. And as we move to the men's race, I think this is a story of redemption. We have 2 athletes who really need redemption here. One is Ryan Atkins, who has finished second place on this course like 4 times. And of course, Ryan Woods, who had a missed spear here in 2019 that possibly cost him the race. What are your thoughts on the men's?
I mean, if you don't know, in 2019, the snow came in. There was a really strong cross breeze. Both of those gents missed the spear throw. I think Ryan, particularly this weekend, is going to be absolutely focused on that redemption story that you mentioned. He needs a first place finish. Also, I think we should talk about Mark Godet, your training partner.
Yeah, Mark Godet is my training partner, or was, because he moved out here, to Colorado about a month ago, and he's been training at altitude, so he's probably the fittest he's ever been. As a guy who does not fare well in the super cold, wet conditions, take those out, you're looking at a dangerous man who was top 5 in West Virginia and is now getting that altitude acclimation. I see him as a major threat for the podium, as well as Vince Fukowski, fellow Army Ranger, just like Mark Godet. He's a 14:17 5K. He also won the best Ranger competition this year before switching his focus to Spartan. So look for that guy to be very dangerous.
Very impressive. Mark Battras will be here this weekend racing as well. And then Lars Arneson. You probably don't know who that name is. I didn't either. He's an FKT holder at the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. We'll see him race for the first time this weekend. I'm sure he's a great runner. Let's see how he goes on the obstacles.
Well, we have an incredible race in store for you today. A ton of amazing athletes, an unbelievable course, and the North American Championship starts right now.
And the racers are off, and as they head up this first opening climb, there are a few athletes in this field who want to really set the tone here today. We know Ryan Atkins likes to take his time and ease into these climbs, but someone like a Ryan Woods is going to want to hammer him hard, see if he can do some damage early. And Woods was one of the first to the top of the climb in 2019, the last time he raced here. Now, if you're looking to the right, that is Angel Quintero of Mexico. I did not know he was going to be here until we saw him on the start line, and he's been racing a few of the smaller races, but this is the first time we've seen him mix it up with the big boys in a couple years. He is fast, he is dangerous, the man can climb, and he has long distance endurance. He won in Breckenridge in 2018. He outran Ryan Atkins, he outran Robert Killian on the Beast course there, up and down the mountains. He is an incredible athlete, and he is leading the climb right now, followed by Ryan Woods and Ryan Atkins. And these are most likely 3 of your strongest climbers in the field today, but look for a few other contenders. Dave Watson mentioned Lars Arneson. If there's one thing that man can do, it's climb. And I believe that's Lars Arneson right behind Ryan Atkins, shirtless. Now they're up the steep portion of this initial kicker. It's going to level off a little, get a little more runnable roll and wind its way up, and then there'll be a few more sections where it really kicks up again. So behind Ryan Atkins, you can see Mark Batres. That's Lars Arneson, and a host of other athletes as well. And as you see up in the distance, those are the big peaks. So there's a long way to go as the athletes hit some of the initial hurdles right here. You'll see some other faces in this field that we haven't seen in a while. Glenn Race, old fan favorite. But there are the Ryans up in the front. Ryan Woods, followed closely by Ryan Atkins, Angel Quintero, Lars Arneson, and there's Mark Gadet and Vince Fukowski right behind him. So all those folks that we were talking about at the start. And the men's field is getting strung out pretty significantly by this very aggressive start and pace. Ryan Woods has taken over the pacing duties. That's Josh Reid right there. He's been living in a van close to these mountains, training for the last month or so, and is in the best shape of his life. That's Vince Fukowski in the blue. Fukowski, as mentioned before, Army Ranger, Best Ranger winner in 2021. And again, this winding, rolling, relatively even terrain for these guys to climb on. It starts to get a little nastier as they get higher, closer to the peak of this thing. You get above the tree line, it starts to get a bit rockier.
Just about to approach the mile 1 mark. We've got a nice pack of 4 guys. Woodsy leading the charge just up here. Just about to approach the mile 1 marker.
So there's now an initial lead pack of 4 men. Ryan Woods, Ryan Atkins, Lars Arneson, and now Mark Gaudet moving up into 3rd position. You can see the climbing and running ability of these 4 men a little bit stronger than the rest of the field. Just behind, that was Mark Batres. Josh Fry sighting as well. Josh Fry's had a number of podium finishes, especially out in the West Coast. If you are one of these East Coast racers, you may not have crossed paths with him too often, but he is frequently a podium contender. And you're starting to see Ryan Woods assert himself a bit more. He's found his rhythm. This terrain is very runnable. It's uphill, but it's much quicker, a bit more flowy. And he is pressing on Atkins and Arneson, but Atkins looks very comfortable right now. As Quintero's fallen back, now in that pack with Josh Fry. Also looking very smooth, Lars Arneson from Alaska. This is your rim-to-rim to rim FKT holder. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that Ryan Woods has made it known that this is going to be his last major Spartan event. Old man Woodsy trying to pull off one more big win. as they work their way through the Z-wall. And you can see just how obstacle proficient Atkins is. He just took a solid 8 seconds or so on Woods. Went from a few seconds behind.
So we've got Ryan Atkins, Ryan Woods just off Z-walls, and Quintero just going by in about 6th or 7th. Mark Gadet is 4th. Not sure who's in 3rd. I think it's a guy called Lars, but we'll check on that. Good mountain runner. We're about mile 1.5 here. Super exciting, but a long way to go in this race.
Well, even Steve was surprised to see Lars Arneson there, as we also caught another look at Joshua Reid. And once again, Ryan Woods trying to put the hammer down on some of these running sections, hoping to gap Atkins. He knows as we got some heavy carries coming up, we have obstacles that can be failed. He needs to really separate himself if he's going to pull away. Run like he did in West Virginia in 2019, where he just broke away from the field and never looked back. As Atkins is being followed closely by Mark Gadet.
Approaching bucket carry and the mile 3 sign. Ryan Woodsy kind of leading the field a little bit. He's just put a bit of a buffer on right now coming in. It might all change in the bucket carry. And then just behind Woodsy, we've got a pack of 3. I think we've got an unknown coming up. I think his name is Lars Arneson. Really good trail runner. See how we will do on the obstacles. Nice job, buddy. Lars, right? Yep. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Lars just broke the rim to rim FKT. So we got a proper trail runner here as well, competing with some of these OCR legends.
Well, we've made it to the top of the mountain and the athletes are about to come ripping down this trail, grab a bucket, heave it over the shoulder, and head straight up this climb. Past the Olympic rings up here, it's a spectacular view. And unlike previous years, you won't be frozen solid at the top. So these guys are gonna be hammering, moving hard. Once they finish this loop, they'll come back down, they'll dump the bucket on the other side, right where they found it. And then the obstacle gauntlet begins, and this is gonna be an incredible sequence. Coming in, first place, Ryan Woods. This is very similar to what we saw 2 years ago on this course.
Don't say that.
He loves to come out and climb this first trail hut, but the bucket carry is an equalizer here, but he's a good carrier athlete. Look how he's running this thing right now. Second athlete is about to come in. It looks like it's about a 20, 25 second gap back to your second place athlete right now. And then right behind him, Ryan Atkins. And then Mark Gadet as well. So you have a 4-man race right now. This is where things begin.
All right, guys, so Woodsy had a really good bucket carry. He's reached the top, he's just going down there now. Got Lars Arneson, Ryan Atkins, Mark Gadet.
The ultra athletes have started about 6 a.m. this morning. And Ryan Woods is now finished with his bucket carry over Bender. Ryan Atkins has moved into second position on the carry.
Okay, big moment here now for Ryan Woods. We're approaching the spear throw. Ryan Atkins and Lars are just in here, neck and neck, coming into the spear throw. Woodsy hits the spear, and here we go. Ryan Atkins, Lars Arneson, Mark Cadet, neck and neck.
We got Ryan Atkins, Lars Arneson throwing the spear, and Lars with the miss. He's gonna take 30 burpees. A stick from Ryan Atkins. And Lars, 30 burpees is gonna be costly, and this is the price that you pay when you're a top level runner, but you're newer to Spartan. These things become a little bit tougher. Lars Arneson, your rim to rim FKT holder, and Mark Cadet, who was 5th place over in West Virginia, they were sitting right there in the competition, but a missed spear has taken them into a situation where they are gonna have to calm their heart rate down afterwards. And now some of the other athletes are arriving. Vince Fukowski, Angel Quintero. It's just about controlling their heart rates at this point. That's a miss from Angel Quintero. A miss from Vince Fukowski. There's plenty of time for these runners to get themselves back into the mix. But off in the distance, Ryan Woods and Ryan Atkins have now put a sizable gap on the rest of the field, and the rest of these guys might be racing for third.
Well, that's Ryan Woods all the way over at Twister and in the lead, and you saw the carnage that the spear throw caused in this field. About half of the top men missed, a combination of the fatigue of that climb, the bucket carry, and some crosswinds affecting things a little bit. But Woods looks very strong right now. A full obstacle ahead of Atkins at this moment. On the armor obstacle.
Looking good. Right on, brother. All right. Woo.
Ryan Woods knows he's going to have to run like the wind right now because he's being stalked by one of the greatest champions in this sport. And there's many obstacles where Atkins is going to be able to pull a few seconds here or there. Atkins also an excellent downhill runner. So as we descend off this mountain, Woods hold off Atkins.
Mountain wall recreation. That's right there. That's that core right there. There you go. I didn't know.
And with Woods on the multi-rig as Atkins approaches, it's those clean efforts, crisp and fast, that Woods is going to need to keep up to hold him off. Behind us right now, the question is who's chasing for third, because it's Josh Reid that we saw exiting the spear throw area in third place after all those missed spears. Can a Lars Arneson, can a Mark Cadet work themselves back into this race? And now the rope traverse. Woods arriving still in first place. A very good quick effort out of him and a good transition. And right into beater. No problem at all for old man Woodsy. As he hits the barbed wire, Woods just needs to keep on pressing.
There we go.
Quick work of that slip wall. Note for those at home, as they work their way down the back end of those stairs right there, those are much more slippery than they used to be when they were wood. The metal is slicker, and we've seen a lot of people fall into those. We've seen it happen to Mark Gaudette this year. We've seen it happen to Josiah Middow in Jacksonville. So be careful on those descents. And now the heavy Atlas stone. It looks like Atkins is charging back into this thing. That's Atkins. You can see him, and he can smell blood because he can see Woodsy too.
We're just finishing the gauntlet. You got Ryan Woodsy absolutely smashing it, but not that far behind him at all. 23 seconds so far was the last little split. There's Ryan Atkins just over here finishing the Atlas carry.
23 seconds isn't much at all on a long, long course.
Sandbag is next. It's a long one, and then it's downhill from there. We'll see how Woodsy's descending goes versus Atkins. But I think Atkins got a lot left in him. We will see.
And here's Josh Reid finishing up that multi-rig.
Good job.
Followed by Josh Fry right here. Fry really setting that grip, being cautious. Tough transitions.
There's a battle for third and fourth place going on as well, which is great. We've got Joshua Redingard is just coming over slip wall just now, and we've got Josh Fry underneath barbed wire crawl right now. So very, very close for third and fourth.
And if you heard me refer to him as Joshua Reid or Josh Reid, that's what he goes by, even though it is Reidinger. We start some of this descending back down. Atkins, such a talented descender. Woods, also very good at descending in his own right. Remember, he was a member of the Team USA mountain running team, but he's going to need to go for it to hold Atkins off.
Got Joshua Redingard having the race of his life right now. Third place, taking it all in. Beautiful scenery, beautiful weather.
Hey, good morning.
Heading down into the sandbag. You see how technical it is right here? All that rocky, loose stuff. Really tests the ankles and your lower leg stability. But Atkins is attacking this with such confidence.
Coming in here for the sandbag carry, 60-pound bags, third place. Josh Fry, not too far away in fourth place. And then you've got Ryan Atkins and Ryan Woodsy right down there. What an amazing race this is.
Can you even handle this for a second?
Boy, Atkins has closed that gap, hasn't he? Ryan Atkins now just probably 6 or 7 seconds behind Ryan Woods. As they come out of this sandbag, they're going to come out basically together. That's Angel Quintero coming in, running hard.
Looking good, boys. Go.
Atkins seems like he's in no rush. His objective to stay with Woodsy, but he doesn't need to pass him right there. He might pass him coming right out because it's now about a second and a half between them. And this must be a moment of confidence for Ryan Atkins, knowing I just closed all of that gap in one obstacle. You might see the pass right here on this obstacle, the monkey bars. And there you have it.
Not too far behind the Ryans, but he's trying to hold third place. He's got Josh Fry.
Joshua Reid running like his life depends on it, holding on to that third place position right now.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I just looked at my shoulder. Oh, fuck. Does anyone know how to put back in your shoulder? I don't. Fuck.
And this is a big problem for Josh Reedinger. As Woods has managed to claw back that lead, and now as he climbs again, he's back in it.
Good job, brother. Thank you.
And it looks like Josh Reedinger also back in it, shoulder back in place.
You're rolling. Keep it up. So, crazy descent, but they've gone down to the bottom. They've passed the 7 mile marker and coming up the hill now. So you can just see Ryan Atkins just behind him, Ryan Woods. So it's still neck and neck. They've got a big climb all the way up to Stairway to Sparta, and then what they do is that horrific descent, big loosey kind of baby head rocks all the way down, then to the obstacle gauntlet down the bottom. Very, very tight finish.
You saw Atkins looking back. Has he pulled away from Woods this time, it looks like?
That's right, Woodsy. It's doing great. So, body language is a really important part. We're going to go and find third place as well, but just seeing Ryan's body language, his breathing is good. He just looks relaxed. I really do think that it's early to tell, but he might well have this in the bag. Ryan Woods just seems a little bit, you know, trying to just keep up with him. I wouldn't say desperate, but he's working harder by the looks of it. Time will tell. Well, I did not see that coming, but that is awesome. We've got Untitled Quintero. He's from Mexico. He's an awesome mountain runner. He has just overtaken Joshua Reid. That's awesome for third place. We know he can run. We know he can run up these hills quickly. He's done it before. In third place right now. This is extremely exciting. That's right, brother. So third and fourth right there. Oh.
Yeah, you saw that right. Ryan Atkins in the front, followed by Ryan Woods, and then Angel Quintero overtaking Josh Reid. Moving into third place, Quintero is, but you can see Reid on his heels right now as they do a little bit of power hiking. It's going to become about guts at this point. We also saw a few other things. We saw, don't worry about that, that's an ultra runner right there. We saw Mark Gadet moving back up into the field. He passed Josh Fry. We haven't seen Lars Arneson in a while. But the question is, are these guys who missed the spear able to run themselves back into podium contention? There are races happening all over this course, not just the race for first place. The race for third, just as close. as Woodsy has pulled Atkins back again on this climb. And you could see Atkins shifting gears again, starting to pick things up. He likes to do some of this fast, slow work. 20 on, 10 off, things like that in his training as he does climbs. And it looks like he's doing a little bit of that on this climb here. Working hard, easing off the gas, then working hard again. Because you see Woodsy starting to pull him back again. Let's see if there's another acceleration from Atkins. This is the steep stuff right here. There's a max incline or max elevation gradient of about 29% somewhere on this course, and they might be hitting it now as Atkins throws another surge. And again, as Steve mentioned, the body language, Atkins looking so comfortable. Woods is giving his all. Starting the descent now. How much can these guys go with the downhill? Can they go with gravity and avoid braking? It's steep, but it's also rocky. That's part of the issue here, is that all this rubble and this debris that you see, these ankle biters.
This is a very pivotal part of the race. We've got Ryan Atkins and Ryan Woods. We know Ryan Atkins can descend extremely well. Ryan Woods here is also a mountain runner, but it is extremely loose. If you have a look at the terrain down here, this is a quite crazy descent. So there's a bit of risk versus reward going on.
Over the inverted wall, Ryan Atkins, such fluidity to that move right there. Doesn't miss a step.
Here we go, we're gonna get ourselves onto the Western States Trail, and it's a crazy descent all the way down. My aim is to show you Ryan Atkins for a wee snippet. We will see.
That was funny.
You gotta love these first-person views that our rabbits are giving us. This is what the athletes are seeing.
So we're here with Ryan Woodsy, beautiful single track running.
And Quintero has made it over to the Stairway to Sparta. Such a tough obstacle. So tough to get that leg up. But he uses his knee. A new technique, huh? Everybody's got their own style to get up this one. Over the tabletop to the vertical cargo goes Atkins, and still Woods is giving chase. Atkins does not have it yet. As good as he looks right now, we know what Woods can do with a little bit of extra distance. And Atkins, you can see how he's really going with that hill. He's not braking at all. He's not digging his heels in at all. His quads aren't having to fire. He's just rolling with gravity. This is a lesson 101 in descending. And look at Quintero and his descent, huh? He might as well be running on flat ground. Man, he looks good. Right behind Quintero, though, that's Joshua Reid, still fighting for that podium position. This is a battle for third place between these two men. And here's Woodsy again. Ryan Woods in his final major race, if he doesn't go to Abu Dhabi. We'll see, but looking very strong.
This is right before the big finishing gauntlet, and he is by himself. He seems to have passed Ryan Woods, put some distance between him. Atkins is off and moving, and Ryan Woods not far behind, maybe about a minute back, giving chase. It's going to be a tough task to overcome Ryan Atkins right now, who looks very solid on this sandbag carry.
Now this thing is not super steep, but it's just long. It's just steep enough to hurt. There's a couple little kickers. You can see one just up ahead before that curve where it really breaks your rhythm. You have to hike it. It's almost impossible to run. And then as it gets further up, it actually gets steeper for a while.
Ryan Woods is clearly putting a big push to the finish, seeing if he can close this gap. And Atkins looks like he's in no rush on this carry. He looks back just to see what his lead is. Does old man Woodsy have one more charge in him?
Yeah, he does.
He's smiling.
What? Just put it back when you get done. Thank you.
Shit. First place, female ultra runner. This clears 8 football. Yeah, look at you. Woo!
All right, so right now it's a two-man race. It's Ryan Atkins, it's Ryan Woods. It's the battle of the Ryans, and these are the two guys that we knew had redemption on their minds at the start of this race. And one of these guys is going to leave a champion on this course, and the other one is going to have to settle for second. But both of them running strong, still close together, only about a minute apart. There's a ton of obstacles still to go, and a bit of running where if one of them starts to fatigue, anything still could happen. It's anybody's race, but right now, Ryan Atkins is in control.
Good job, buddy. This is it. Got it.
And a little bit of friendly love between friends right there. Competitors first, but always friends. Both of these Ryans. And Atkins is just coming to the end of this carry. And life gets a little bit better here because there's no more climbing and no more running with heavy things, that is. And by the looks of it, Quintero is closing in on that sandbag carry himself.
Ryan Atkins closing out this sandbag carry. He smells victory. He's just a few obstacles away, and he's still got that lead. Solidly ahead of Ryan Woods as he heads into the gauntlet.
Quintero arriving at the sandbag carry now. That's the village in the distance.
Third place coming into the carry. Angel Quintero of Mexico. We were surprised to see him at the start of this race, but we turned and said to each other, this is a guy who's going to be a huge factor today. We've seen him win in Breckenridge. We've seen him beat Atkins there and a number of other top racers, and he is looking strong right now.
And Quintero is on his way up this last climb as Atkins has made it to the helix. And watch how fast he gets through helix. He has figured this one out.
So Ryan Woods about a minute 10 behind Ryan Atkins right now, coming off the sandbag carry. One last push.
Quintero has to finish out this climb. He does have a hungry Josh Reid behind him.
Good job, Ryan.
Ryan Atkins now entering the village as he comes over the A-frame cargo net. And as he works his way down, next up, it's going to be the tire flip. Quintero just about to the peak of this climb. Told you it gets steep and ugly up there. But everything is flat from here on out for Ryan Atkins. Even if your legs are absolutely done, you can run through this village with that crowd, those cheers, and look how close this is between Angel Quintero and Josh Reid, who has really closed the gap on that carry. Third place still up for grabs. But here's your men's leader, Ryan Atkins, coming to finally claim victory on this course here in Tahoe.
Yes, sir.
And here's the tire flip. Nice level surface should make this very easy to get your fingers under, get grip. No problem at all for Atkins. He's one flip away.
Ryan Atkins making quick work of that tire flip, and he's on to Olympus.
Now Quintero's going to have to move right now to hold off Josh Reid. Atkins again putting on the clinic.
Standing between Ryan Atkins and the North American Championship. So fast through Olympus.
And now a rope climb. And Ryan Atkins is on to the final obstacle as Josh Reid has hit the 8-foot box. He is not far behind Quintero. Clearly feeling that shoulder still. We've seen athletes dislocate their shoulders on this obstacle. And into the pipe layer for Josh Reid. Part of that finishing gauntlet. Ryan Atkins knows he's a man who has this championship wrapped up. Just a few pulls.
Ryan Atkins with ease to the top.
And Ryan Atkins will claim the North American Championship for 2021. An incredible effort from Ryan Atkins, who finally wins on this Tahoe course. And Ryan Woods chasing right behind, finishing his final go here at this Lake Tahoe venue. Just a few hoist pulls.
Ow. Hit my back too hard. It's so strong.
And still having fun with it.
That's a lot different than West Virginia.
Yes, Ryan, a much lighter hoist than in West Virginia. And Ryan Woods has wrapped up the day. Second place overall for Ryan Woods. As Angel Quintero closes it in, and Ryan Woods is going to relish this second place finish, his final run here in Lake Tahoe. And
not a bad way to finish.
A big hug from Ryan Atkins and Ryan Woods. Two champions showing a lot of respect to one another. Two North American champions. And now Angel Quintero is trying to close this thing out as he tries to hold off Josh Reid. The two of them on this tire flip.
Huge moment right here. Joshua Reid, he's on Olympus right now. He's just overtaken Angel Quintero for third place. This is super, super exciting. If he makes it through this, I believe that he's gonna get it, and he's got burpees.
Joshua Reid's shoulder is dislocated once again.
an arm. You do it yourself. Jump on it. You go, man.
And Angel Quintero able to go by because Josh Reid is working on one arm and cannot make it through this Olympus obstacle. And he's going to have to take burpees here. And Angel Quintero is through. Reid momentarily overtook him on that tire flip obstacle, and then that shoulder came out of the socket again. Oh, that is just so painful, not just physically, but just such an emotionally crushing blow for Josh Reid.
Massive turn of events just there. Josh, for the second time, he dislocated his shoulder. So he did that on monkey bars and did that again on Olympus. So he's just scraped through. Angel Quintero into third place. Amazing run. But yeah, I feel really sorry for Josh Reid, who was having the race of his life.
And Angel Quintero doing his best to finish this last strength obstacle to put Mexico on the podium. One Canadian athlete, one American athlete, and now with Angel Quintero joining the mix, one Mexican athlete as well. You can't ask for a more perfect podium than that. As Angel Quintero comes out of nowhere this year, we haven't seen him all year, but here he is to take third in the North American Championships. An amazing finish from the Mexican legend Angel Quintero.
Josh had his shoulder put back in. He did burpees on Olympus. He's still in fourth place. Mark Gadet and Josh Fry are doing burpees on the tire. They're finding it really hard. This course has been epic. It's very testing for them, especially on that last descent. But let's see if Josh just needs to use a lot of his feet and get up.
This is just such a hard thing to watch. An athlete who's put in so much for part of their body to fail them. But look at him using his legs and getting up this thing. Can his shoulder last for one more obstacle? Usually I say the man who finishes second suffers the most of anyone in a race, but today that man just might be Josh Reid, trying to take home fourth place. Can he get this shoulder to hold together for just this hoist?
So, Josh has got an adapt technique just to look after his arm. This is the last obstacle. If he gets this, he secures fourth place. Bloody amazing. There's a Spartan right there.
And Josh Reid has pulled it off. He's on his way over to the finish line. Fourth place today. Striding out is Joshua Reid. Still the race of his lifetime. He sadly won't take the podium. He ran a podium race, and he'll have to settle for fourth. But a great showing, and those are your top three men.
We're here with your North American champion, Ryan Atkins, and this is a moment of redemption for you today on this course. So, First of all, what did this race mean to you before we get into everything that happened?
I think it meant a lot. I've never actually had a great race here. Never felt good at the top of the climb. So I really wanted to come back and just race well, and whatever that meant, if that meant third or second or first, I'd be happy with it. But yeah, I felt good out there. I raced smart, I raced clean, and yeah, finally buried that demon.
Congratulations, an amazing race, and you finally got that monkey off your back. So cheers.
I'm here at the finish line, second place finisher, North American Championship, Ryan Woods. Ryan, what a phenomenal performance today. You just didn't manage to hang on.
Yeah, Atkins so good at those steep downhills. So each time we crested the uphills, he just put gaps on me, and I was fighting back, and you know, I got to watch him run away from me on that final descent, you know, which is, it's always good when you're hanging in there with Atkins. So probably screwed up in terms of my season. Like I raced in late May, and normally that's when I'm starting to my build back up. So I took my summer break much later, and I just wasn't ready to go for Utah, Nashville, and I'm kicking myself because I did pretty well in those races without being too fit. And now I'm starting to really round into shape. So,
What does the future hold for Ryan Woods from here?
well, I mean, this is probably my last race. I won't be chasing the series anymore. I'll be 43 in March, so it's kind of a good swan song for me. I'm still gonna be fit and running. So if you guys will have me back at races, I'll do definitely the local ones. And if you guys have a local U.S. series like West Virginia, I'd love to come out to those. But I think this is kind of the end of the line for me.
Mate, we will always have a spot for you. You're a phenomenal athlete. Congratulations today.
Thanks.
Great performance.
Thank
Ryan Woods, second place.
Well, it's been an amazing experience watching Ryan Woods over the years. We're going to certainly miss him, and a big congratulations to Ryan Atkins. For everyone who watched this race, thank you for joining us. We will see you all in Telluride.